Mental health. Discover evidence-based practice of managing anxiety, depression, anger, panic, and worry. Written by Michael Pond. Narrated by John Palmer and Christian Stone.
Introduction. Imagine you are in a meeting with a serious investor or a really important date with a partner you intend to marry, and you have the ability to tell what they are thinking. How about understanding the personality of a stranger within minutes of the first meeting? That would be great, right? All of us would like to succeed in life. However, to achieve this, one needs some special skills. Some of these skills are in you, and all you need to do is harness and practice them. For example, the ability to communicate. Others are not an inborn communicator, and you have to learn them to read another person, for instance. We are born with the ability to pass messages, persuade, manipulate, and influence others. However, we need to understand these skills and their role in our lives in order to reap their benefits. How can one communicate effectively enough to make others do as he or she wishes without having to force them or using violence? Imagine having the power to read a person correctly, understand his or her personality, and use that information to influence him or her. Sometimes we are convinced that it is impossible to predict what the other person is thinking, but here is the good news. It is possible to read and understand the personality of a person even before you talk to them. Here's the deal. In this book, you will hear the manipulation techniques that I have identified over the years, plus several ways of applying them. Believe me, I have tested all of them. They work effectively. As a life coach and researcher specializing in personal development, I have engaged with a lot of people from different walks of life. This interaction offered me the chance to observe and identify what works and what does not work when it comes to manipulation, persuasion, reading people, and effectively influencing them. The tips, techniques, and skills shared in this audiobook are the most effective ones. However, it takes time and practice to be able to apply them correctly. On the brighter side, once you learn them, it becomes very easy to detect and even protect yourself from toxic and abusive people. Interestingly, some of these tips are so obvious that you will be thinking, how did I miss that? For example, you probably know that a person's gestures say a lot about them. The question is, do you know how to read them to identify behavior and characteristics? Keep listening to find out more about different types of personalities, toxic people, manipulators, and effective boundary setting. Don't wait anymore. Buy your copy today. The following chapters will discuss the power and role of communication in life, the different methods and principles of manipulation, and ways of detecting a manipulative attack. Additionally, there is a whole chapter dedicated to ways and tools you can use to read people and understand personality correctly. There are plenty of books on this subject on the market. Thanks again for choosing this one. Every effort was made to ensure it is full of as much useful information as possible. Please enjoy. Chapter 1. Communication Techniques. Communication is one of the essential parts of human life. It is the most effective tool for passing a message. The way people communicate is very crucial because it determines whether he or she will be understood or misunderstood. The skills one uses to communicate are incredibly necessary for human relations. Interestingly, most people are not entirely conscious of how they communicate. There is a very thin line between conscious and subconscious communication. When we use communication consciously, it is possible to influence people to do what we want, even without them realizing it. On the other hand, it is possible for a person to communicate without being consciously aware of his or her intention. In fact, some people communicate for the sake of communication, talking for the sake of talking. Either way, the message is delivered. Often, we look at communication as the skill of passing information and data verbally, using words. Most of us concentrate on language.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?